Well, thank you very much, and just a beautiful day at Marywood. It's always a beautiful day at Marywood. This is Maisey, and she is a counselor here. And, okay, just say hello.
Hello.
So you notice the accent. So she's from out east, and I mean like really out east. You are here from England.
Yeah, I've come all the way from near London. It's my second year at camp, and this year I'm an inclusion counsellor, which means I run programs as well as working with the campers.
Why come all the way here from England, especially a second year?
Well, the first year it was a little bit of a surprise. I didn't really know much about Easter seals, but I came and I loved every minute of it. I think we don't really have camps back home. It's such a special opportunity to work at one. And this camp specifically, not only does it cater to the disabled community, but also not just children, but because we also serve adults, it's a really special place to bring those people together. And then I came back a second year because I had so much fun last year and because of the connections I made with campers and the difference I felt I made. And they told me that I made. So yeah, I really enjoyed it and couldn't say no to coming back.
And it's those differences, right? It is. There's kids at home right now who, because of Maisey, had an incredible summer.
Yeah, I remember an incident last year of a camper, because a lot of our campers come and they've been disabled their whole lives. But we had a camper who came and she was just newly disabled from a complication from a surgery. So she was 8 months post-injury, and she was going around asking the other campers, oh, when was your surgery? When was your surgery? Thinking everyone became disabled the same way she did. And then I think hearing the other campers explain to her their story of how they've lived their lives, it was really beautiful that she came back this year for a second year, so much more confident in herself, so much more empowered and able to advocate for herself. And it was, even in just a year, just 1 week at camp, it made such a difference to her.
Now, we know that campers' lives are changed. What about Maisey? How has this changed you? How are you going home?
So I'm a student speech and language therapist, and I didn't really know what specialty I wanted to go into. I just knew that I wanted to help give people a voice. And then working at camp has made it clear that I want to work with this community. I want to work with long-term disability, especially those campers who are non-verbal or don't have much language. I love finding ways to give them a voice.
So what message would you send to someone out there who's kind of thinking, well, maybe I might help support Easter Seals? What message would you give them?
Do it. Do it. It's the best thing you'll ever do. The difference, even just a 5-day session, let alone the longer week session, makes to the campers it's invaluable. I can't put words to it. It's incredible here.
All right, thank you so much. And Maisey is just one of the incredible things about Camp Marywood. And I'll come back in a little bit and we'll explore more things that make a difference here.
So I'm here with Mitchell and his mom, Yvonne, and I was excited to touch base with you guys because I never get to sit in this seat and catch up with the families the way that some of the other hosts get to do. So how are you guys doing?
Great.
Yeah? And Mitchell, how old are you now?
22.
22! One of the first things I got to enjoy watching you do was come to our events and be the ambassador. So you were kind of the celebrity of every event that you got to come to. So Yvonne, talk to us about camp and what has camp meant for your family in terms of Mitchell being able to go, you guys being able to go, family camp, respite for him while he's at camp, for you guys while he's at camp. Talk to us about how camp has impacted Mitchell's life.
Camp's a beautiful thing. I couldn't praise it enough. Marywood's a very sweet place to go. We did have the opportunity of London once. Family camp was just so awesome to connect with other families who are in a similar situations and just to reinforce the love and support that you get. And it was a hard transition when we had to let him go as an individual and not do family camp. Because we so enjoyed our years there. But it's awesome for Mitchell to be able to be independent and then make his own friends, and he really enjoys the staff. He looks forward to certain staff members each year. And I could talk all day about the benefits of camp.
So talk to me about that year that you decided to agree with Mitchell and allow him to go independently. What was it about family camp that made you okay with allowing him to go by himself?
Oh goodness, well, everybody is just a trusted staff. They're like family. And so it's not like putting your hands into the hands of strangers. You've developed lots of relationships over the years. It was probably harder on us because we couldn't go as a family. And it was obviously a transition year. because he was like, why aren't you staying with me?
Right.
So, but it was just beautiful that, you know, the first time around, I think some of the programs have changed. It was just 5 days. And so it was sort of like the intro to being by yourself.
Yep.
And then, you know, they've had 10-day ones. Now I think it's just 7 or 8. So it's a good transition. And he just loves it because he just loves all the events there, like archery and the canoeing and kayaking and just hanging out and protecting the camp as deputy sheriff.
Somebody has to do it. And I've heard you've done a very good job of protecting the camp. So do you remember making friends at camp, or did you have special relationships with the camp counselors, Mitchell?
Do you remember her name? Sydney.
Sydney brings a smile to your face. So who's Sydney, and how did she help Mitchell within camp?
Well, I don't have all eyes and ears, but I just lots of hugs.
Great.
The greatest camper ever.
She's a great person.
That's
She's a
nice.
great person.
And she's a counselor at Marywood?
She was one of the counselors.
So you've made a friendship with Sydney, and I understand you've applied to go back to camp. So we're waiting to hear if we're going to go back to camp this summer at Marywood, and we're hoping that Sydney's going to be there. So all of our fingers and toes are crossed for you, Mitchell, because we want to see that smile on your face. And let's hope for maybe getting a picture of you and Sydney if that all comes true for us. Deal? Deal. Listen, I appreciate you guys coming in every year. Oh, I forgot the Spidey Man part, sorry. Every year you come in and you share your story with us. You represent the other families on behalf of Easter Seals and all the other kids so well by sharing your story with us. And I think that when you do that, it helps inspire, obviously, donations for what we're doing here in Telethon, but I think it also inspires other families to hear about the success that you've had at camp, the courage that it takes to send your kids to camp, and then the payoff that's there and the benefits that come for our kids by sending them to camp. So from day one, from the very beginning, you're my first ambassador family. You've inspired me since that day. You inspire me today, and I appreciate you guys so much for being here. And I appreciate you coming to all of our Easter Seals events. You can continue to be our celebrity, Mitchell. We love your big smile. We can't wait to hear how camp goes this summer. Another fist bump.
Oh, yeah.
And then he does the Spidey Man thing after. All right. Thanks so much, guys. Thanks, Mom.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dave Smith, MPP for Peterborough-Kawartha. This is the 52nd anniversary of the Easter Seals Telethon, and Graham Hart is celebrating his 50th anniversary on this one. Congratulations, Graham, on that. For those of you who don't know, Easter Seals does a fantastic job of supporting all of our individuals who have mobility challenges, and really, when it comes down to it, having the opportunity to treat everyone exactly the same so that we can have all of those opportunities for everyone makes an awful lot of sense. So thank you so much for those who are involved with the Easter Seals, and thank you so much for those who recognize and make the donations for us.